It is the end of real estate agents as we know it, and today I am here to talk about the elephant in the room, that is the recent NAR settlement over real estate commissions, and address some of the headlines that are circulating, as well as to talk about what is to come for buyers, sellers, and real estate agents. So if you have been living under a rock, there have been several lawsuits happening around real estate commissions and how they are paid. So this last Friday, NAR came to an agreement on a settlement of $418 million. They did not admit to any wrongdoing, but they have changed the way real estate agents will be paid moving forward, starting in July of this year. But before I address the official changes, first let's talk about the media and how some of these headlines have been taken a little bit out of context, okay? The first one, the 6% commission on buying or selling a home is gone after realtor associations agree to seismic settlement. First of all, it's never been a flat fee of 6%. And I know that there will be some comments saying realtors have always made sellers believe it is 6%, and that is also not true. Sellers have always had the option to do for sale by owner, to use an iBuyer program like Open Door or Orchid, to use a flat rate brokerage, or to interview multiple agents to negotiate how much commission they want to pay. Bottom line is it's always been negotiable. Always, always, always. And then that fee or percentage the seller was paying to the listing agent was divided and given to the buyer's agent's brokerage. That is how things used to work. Now they are changing. This article and many others are going on to say that this is going to lower home buying costs. Guys, if you no longer have to pay buyer agent fees as a seller, are you going to go ahead and lower your home price and value by $10,000 just because you were able to pay less in commission? No. No, you are not. Let's be real. Sellers will try to keep as many proceeds as possible, and rightfully so. So let's just take that idea off the table that it is going to lower home buying costs. The thing is, real estate agents and commissions have always been competitive. I am in a Shark Tank industry, and if I could count the number of times I have lost business to an agent who offers less than my fees on both the buying and selling side over the course of my career. It's just the way it is, and it's the way it's been going on for quite some time now. And if you interview multiple agents, which you should, you will find that they all have different fees, different structures, different marketing plans. No two agents or brokerages are the same. This news article brought up a lot of inaccurate points too. One of them, like the NAR requires compensation to be seen only by agents, steering realtors on what homes they show potential buyers based on what the commission is being given. But that is simply not true. This has always been public information and was changed years ago in order for everything to be more transparent when showing homes to potential buyers. With the new NAR settlement, they are proposing offers of compensation to the buying agent to be completely taken off the MLS. In fact, we will no longer be able to put into the public info on the MLS anything about compensation. By taking this little button away about commission is a little more murkier in my opinion. So moving forward, what does this mean for buyers and buyers agents, as well as sellers? And to be honest, it is all up in the air. It can go in many directions, so I'm going to go over what buyers will be required to do starting in July, as well as the different scenarios I see possibly happening as we transition into this proposed settlement. The first requirement going into effect is that before any agent or service can show you a house, even just one, you will be required as a buyer to sign a buyer's agent rep agreement. This agreement covers what the buying agent services and duties are, as well as how the agent will be compensated for their services and times. So gone are the days where you can call an agent and they will show you 5 houses without you having to make any sort of commitment to the agent. NAR is now saying before you can show a potential buyer any house, they will have to sign a buyer's rep agreement. So if you are on the side that buyer agents are useless, even if you go through the listing agent to see the house, not only are you creating a dual agency now and letting the listing agent represent both you and the seller's best interests, you will have to sign a buyer's rep agreement with the listing agent in order for them to show you that house. And this goes for any type of service you use to view the home. You could go directly to the sellers as well to avoid a buyer's rep agreement, or using a buyer agency to buy real estate. But not all sellers are going to let random strangers into their house to view the home. As far as using a buyer agent, I see this playing out in several different scenarios. Number one is the possibility that buyers will need to pay for their own representation when purchasing a home. That will be difficult, particularly for first-time home buyers or buyers who are already coming up with closing costs and down payment money. Also, some buyers might be using loans that do not allow for them to pay commissions or closing costs. So to me, that is a little scary because despite what people think, a lot of agents do a lot more than just open doors for buyers. And I could make a whole video on agents because we do have a lot of misconceptions in this industry. Number two is the seller can still offer concessions and the buyer can use those to pay for the buyer agent. Number three is that they could skip having a buyer agent altogether. I know that there are a lot of people who believe all realtors do are open doors and that everybody can find their own home now that Zillow has public information to the MLS. Again, we can make a whole video on this topic. Anyways, the point is that 2 out of 3 of those options is the buyer pays, which in reality makes the cost of buying a home even more expensive and unattainable. So why are the news articles saying home buying will become more affordable? The last one of the scenarios I think could play out is number 4, and that is that things will continue how they have always been. In reality, the changes being set forth have always been in practice. Sellers have always had a choice and will continue to have a choice, and a buyer has always also had a choice and will continue to have some choices. Thing is that buyer agency wasn't a thing until the 90s, before the listing agent represented both parties in the transaction, and the amount of lawsuits that were happening because an agent can't have two best interests of two opposing parties, it just doesn't work. It's impossible. So the buyer agency was created in order to protect buyers when purchasing from a seller. If you are looking to move to the Houston area and would like to know what it looks like to work together, feel free to call, text, or email me. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.